Blessed love to each and every one. Definitely do give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Kadamawe Haile Selassie I. It is a joy. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. I'll definitely like to welcome you into the Tiger's Nest. Of course, you know the mystic vibration all the time, all around. Yeah, as I said, glorify the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards Marcus Yahweh to be praised. Now listen, my brothers and sisters, as I said, yes, we are in the Tiger's Nest, but what we will be doing from tonight, I am going to begin a series of programs right here on the YouTube directly dealing with the state of our economy, the state of our finances. Yes, I'm not peeping your pocket. I don't want to see what's in your bank account. No, that's not what it's all about. But it's about us as a people and our economic state and our economic growth. So let me just tell you off the bat, we're going to be dealing with busyness, business, because that's where it comes from. Busyness, busy like the bee. That's why the Christ tell you, go to the ants, thou sluggard. Go to the bee and learn how to be industrial, because the bee is the symbol of industry, the honeybee. So even the emperor with the sign of the bee, it is the sign of industry. So it's very important, my good brothers and sisters, that we pay special attention to our economy, pay special attention to our finances, and pay special attention to our money. Now you may say, but wait, all of that is the same thing. Not necessarily, depending on how you look at it, not necessarily. Now, most of us, we are accustomed to money, the literal, you know, how much you make a week. Some of us, $500 you make a week on the job, $600 a week, $800, maybe $900 a week. And maybe you have something put aside in the bank. Let's say you have a 10 grand in the bank, 15 grand. And some of us feel that, hey, we've made it. Are you crazy? Oh, yes, we are all right. Now that alone, that sort of mentality shows me that our psychological state of mind needs a lot of adjustment. A lot of adjustment. That is how a selfish slave thinks. Oh, yeah. Because we're supposed to be thinking of an empire. We're supposed to be thinking industrial, not just I'm okay and, you know what I mean, I can send my children to college and all of that. That ain't good enough. To me, anyone that thinks like that is still suffering from the trauma of the enslavement of the Ebonite people of the world. And this is why in these series of programs, we'll be looking at this economic state from different levels. Now, I'm not an economist. I didn't graduate from no college with a degree in economy or whatever the subject is called, or economics, pardon me. But those who have their degree in economics, somehow they still live in a society where the economy is going down. So what is the real economics? What the economists, what really are they doing? Some of them are just economists for themselves. They're raking in all the dough. But I'm showing you, my good brothers and sisters, those of us who are conscious, we speak about reparation. And let me say before I go there, because I know a lot of people, you know, people get turned on by religious subjects and theological battle and debates and arguments and interviews about this and that and something controversial. There's nothing more controversial right now than the economic state of us as a people. What's more controversial than that? So again, we speak about reparation. Now, a few months ago, I think it was, we did a program on that. The University of Glasgow gave, it was what, 200 million pounds, if I'm not mistaken, if that's the right or correct figure. I think that's it, 200 million pounds they gave to the University of the West Indies as reparation in cash and kind, 200 million pounds. Now, Detroit, a few years ago, Detroit was declared a bankrupt city. Detroit in Michigan, the United States of America. Now, Detroit, a bankrupt city, the blacks in Detroit spend somewhere between 17 to 19 billion dollars every year I want you to follow this good. The blacks in Detroit, not Detroit, you know, just the black people, not the Caucasians in Detroit, not the Indians in Detroit, not the Arabs in Detroit, just the blacks in Detroit, the people of African descendants, if you want to call them that. They spend almost 20 billion, or maybe more than that, every year in the bankrupt city of Detroit. Now, Detroit is not the whole of the black world. In fact, if Detroit was to sink tomorrow, well, because it's Detroit, you would hear about it, but really, it wouldn't, you know, I mean, you wouldn't really miss no one. No disrespect to no one, you know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disrespecting anyone's life. I'm just making a point. I mean, any one of these Caribbean islands, if they sink tomorrow, some people wouldn't even know about that. You understand? And yeah, that's the truth. Tsunami come and wash out people. Thousands of people die, and you still go to work and come home and watch wrestling and watch the news and nothing move you. I'm just trying to show you. The point I'm making is that Detroit by itself is not this significant part of the whole planet, that if Detroit disappears, the planet is going to stop spinning. But I'm just trying to show you that the blacks in Detroit, a bankrupt city, could spend $20 billion collectively in a year. So they have other states in the same Michigan. They have other states in the United States of America that are not bankrupt states. In fact, they're doing twice as good as Detroit, 3 times as good, 10 times as good. So if the blacks in Detroit are spending 20 billion in a bankrupt state, city, I could imagine what they're spending somewhere else, the blacks. So when Glasgow now was given 200, not billion, you know, million pounds, whether it is pounds, dollars, yens, or whatever, giving 200 million pounds for reparation, that's almost an insult. That's what you call a spit in the face. But the point I'm making now is that us now, we have that ability to begin and end that reparation argument, you know. If we were conscious, if we were psychologically sound, we wouldn't have to ask nobody nothing. We would pool our resources together. Marcus Messiah Garvey already taught us this. He taught us to observe our enemies. Now I know some of you, you're so nice, you ain't got no enemy. And I'm telling you, your enemy is not an individual enemy. It's culture against culture, whether you like it or not. So he tell you to observe the Arabs, observe the Syrians. Look how they play the game. I watch them how they commune. In the afternoons, they gather together after work and they smoke their hookah, barbecue, and the little children run around in the yard and they plan and plot how they could rob you tomorrow when they go back to the store. Yeah. The Orientals. The Oriental would have, the Chinese man would have a store where he's selling hair products. And you would have the same products. In fact, you would have better products. And I'm not asking, I know this firsthand. You would have better products than what he has. And you would go to him and say, hey, fella, or what he has. And say, look, brother, I have a top line product here. What you have here is okay, but this is better. And listen, I could give you for half the price you get that, wherever you're getting it from. And he would turn you down. And he would tell you, well, listen, brother, don't feel no way. Well, I don't even think he would call you brother. He would say, sir, we only shop from our own. Now, you can't be upset with him. You cannot be upset with him because he's practicing cultural economics. Although he's a businessman or a businesswoman, it's as if his cultural pride comes first. So he'll sell you anything, but he ain't gonna buy nothing from you. And we entertain these sort of things in our community. So this is why we decided, my brothers and sisters, this program is just an introduction. I've done programs on the economic state of the Black